All right, so now that you've done both of those things, you've identified the structure and function as it applies to a species and how it's adapted to an environment. And you've also traced back to the root cause or the root characteristic in the habitat, whether it's climate or topography, water, soil, whatever it might be. I'd like you guys to get in your groups and discuss which one of your examples best shows a structure, the way something is, and its function, what it does, and then also come to a consensus on what are the most important characteristics of a habitat at the root level in terms of forming a complete habitat or forming a habitat that is distinct from other habitats. So 2 things. Out of your 4 people, the best example of structure and function, and what are the root characteristics of a habitat?
This is the
Okay.
Okay.
I'll talk about mine. So I was looking at one of the birds that lives in my habitat, which is called the American coot. And when I read about it for my presentation that I made about the adaptations, it talked about how their feet were, like, over time, they evolved to have different types of feet so that they could, like, walk on land. Because the riparian area includes water, so like from the river, and then it's also land that's near the river. And so these birds can go from being in the water to walking on land, and so their feet are designed for them to be able to walk on land.
They're not webbed or anything.
Well, I can't remember the exact wording for it, but it was something along the lines of allowing them to walk better on land.
Okay, so, well, I'm not really sure how to describe mine, so it's not the best example, but it's basically the habitat structure had to do with lichen and how lichen is like a symbiotic relationship between algae and fungus, or fungi, and bacteria. And so I don't really know how to trace that adaptation back. I'm not sure what really the base.
Wait, say it again.
So lichen, and it's just this thing that grows on like plants and rocks and stuff, and it's a combination of fungi and algae and bacteria.
So they adapted to survive on each other's death and growth.
Yeah, so like just symbiotic relationships feeding off each other.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the base habitat.
I have a coyote bush, or a dwarf precarious. It has a really deep root system, and that's because in the dry season, it could retain water, and when it floods near the river, it could still hold still without getting washed away because of the same deep root system. So those would be like the root reasons why it developed that.
For the roots.
For the roots.
So would the structure be like what it does? No, it does. That's the function. What's the structure? That it can survive? How it goes on like.
Well, I think the real structure and the function would be like what? So it goes dormant, right? So that would be the function, and then because of the climate, right? That would be the structure. Okay,
Alright, well mine is about the egret. Sorry, my horrifying drawings there. About how it has white feathers, even though that's a falcon. It's a falcon. I know it looks like a pterodactyl. That's a falcon, I promise. It will have white feathers, even though most of its environment is very brown or green, kind of murky-ish. And I believe this is due to like the urbanization kind of, because the falcons, they can't nest near there. They don't feel they feel threatened. So there was a lack of presentation on it, and the fact that they have a group mentality, and it might be easier to pick white out of a very swampy area.
So to like find each other.
They all have white feathers.
That was embarrassing. I mean, it was technically Ben's fault.
You're not outside. Hi.
What's your structure and function?
I don't know, I just talked about like the snowy egret and how it has long legs, and I just figured that it's adapted, it has adapted long legs so that it can run through shallow waters. Does that make sense?
Why would you need long legs in shallow water?
I don't know. I don't know why they would need long legs. Squash bugs, maybe, with their feet. I don't know why they adapted to have really large legs.
Do birds not like to have their butts in the water?
Yeah, they hate their butts in the water.
What did you finally get here, Toby?
I got a dragonfly at the freshwater marsh trying to eat plants. So the structure, or the root is how the plants grow by the soil and the water. So the dragonfly can easily get it without having to reach into the water, so it won't get wet.
So what part of the dragonfly allows it to reach in and get it? What's the structure of the dragonfly that lets this happen?
The wings.
The wings? Or is there something about the shape of the dragonfly that allows it to do that?
Well, the dragonfly has, I don't remember, like, there's like air, there's some part of their head that breathes.
Say that again?
There's a part of their head that allows them to breathe in water.
Perfect. What do you have, Claudia?
So I have a picture of the eucalyptus tree, and that's like my shitty little bird. And, I'm sorry. And that's the black phoebe, and the black phoebe it has adapted to like go because it eats like seeds and like small little like fishes. So since its wings are so small, it can't like fly as like high. So it like goes down like on the shallow part of the marsh to collect like the seeds that the eucalyptus tree like drops to the floor. So it can like eat and like scavenge like since it can't like fly. So it's adapted to like go to like near like shallow waters.
Do the short wings help it fly better at lower levels?
Yeah, it can like fly faster like when it's like, so it's easier for it to like grab its food. Like since its wings are so small, it can easily grab its food like quicker and like easier also to like get away from like predators as well.
The structure of my bird or my hawk is big because it migrates far distances, and its prey is usually bigger than most like hawk's prey. Like it eats full-size squirrels, and from squirrels to like it'll just get a bass in the water, like things like that. It's a strong bird, big wings for it to glide, good eyesight to find its prey. And
Wonderful. That's a number of different structures and functions.
it is.
You know, Zeke just gave multiple examples of structure and function. I'm curious if you would say it to everyone.
Hello, everyone. My hawk is big because basically it's just a big, it's known as the stocky hawk actually, and because it has big wings for its far migration, it has good eyesight to find its prey, and another reason why it's big is because it actually, like, its prey is like full size, goes from full size squirrels to like normal sized bass. Like it's pretty badass, if you ask me.
Does it have any special digestive structures that allow it to eat different things like that?
I have no idea.
I was just curious.
That's a good one. I'll look into it.
All right. Now, lastly, I asked you guys to talk to each other and come up with some of the root habitat characteristics that allow these things to take shape. So what were some of the ones that you came up with?
Soil.
Soil is a big one for you?
Yeah.
Who else is soil a big one for? All right. Other ones? Elizabeth.
Like the habitat's proximity to water.
Proximity to water, how important is that to you guys? Or just water in general? Okay. Any other basic habitat characteristics, Nasso? Color.
Surrounding color, well, that is kind of interesting. Think about it, you know, you have a lot of like darker colored plants and darker soils that
Well, color does affect the albedo. Albedo is how something absorbs sun and radiation, so it heats up or cools down differently. Climate. For who was climate a big deal? Now, those of you who had climate being a big deal, what's your habitat? Okay. Sage scrub? Okay. Anything else? Any other basic habitat characteristics that are important to you guys? Okay, so humans and their effect on the environment. That does definitely shape the environment in San Diego, huh? All right.